Hey guys, and welcome back to Family Traveling Adventures. So, if you saw us last week, you already know what this video is about. We are trying to help large families travel more and find tips and tricks that they can use to save money, because we understand that if you have a lot of kids, then traveling may not be as easy or affordable. Alrighty, let's get into the video. Okay, so yes, we have the same clothes on because we filmed all of these videos in one day. I have to get him when he's available.
That's right.
And I told him, I was like, let's change shirts so it don't look like we filmed it all in one day. And he was like, no, I'm not doing that. It ain't anymore. So yeah, here we are, y'all. Okay, so this vlog is gonna be, our video is gonna be straight to the point. We're gonna talk about travel. When you are planning a family vacation, one of the first things I look at is how we get there. Because honestly, if it's too expensive to get there, then it's going to add more to my bottom line. And when we travel, we try to do it as affordable as possible. And we ain't got nothing but 2 children, okay?
Where you left off at was picking places that are that are easy to get to where for us driving. Like when we went to Colorado, that was we drove. Matter of fact, we drove a lot of trips.
And so we drive a lot. If you notice in our vlogs, which I'm sure you do, we drive to a lot of the locations.
Yeah, because we got 2 kids, and when you look at airfare for 2 kids, it's like it's just cheaper to drive.
Well, for us, it is more affordable to drive, but it's also the issue of being in a confined space with my son, who is 4 now, but in a lot of the travels that you've seen was 2 and 3, and so
right.
I didn't want to do that to myself. Essentially, when you have a large family, one of the first things I look at is how we're going to get there. Because, for instance, we are planning a winter vacation for this year, and I'm not going to look at him right now because he's not a part of any of the planning. It is me basically planning it and coming to say, hey, we got to pay this by this date, or hey, this is due. And so we pay, and so he forks over the money for it. So that is essentially...
That's why I got kicked out the house, y'all. That's
exactly why. Watch the last video. Did we talk about that in this video or the last one? Watch the last video if you're wondering why he got kicked out and you haven't seen him. Okay, so moving right on along. So one of the things I look at is I know what kind of vacation I want. For instance, a winter vacation. So we want snow. So I start looking at all the places where there is snow or ski resorts. And then I look at the cost of getting there. Which ones are close enough to where we can drive? Which ones are where we have to fly? And then how much does the flying cost? So based on what my budget is, that depends on where I'm going that year for that type of vacation. And that's kind of how I plan as far as how to get there. How to get there is so important because it can cost you anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars based on your family size. I mean, if you look at cheaper tickets where it's like $200 and something round trip, a family of 4, that's $800. But if you get up to a family of 7 or 8, that is anywhere from like $1,600, right? Because 8 times 2 is 6.
Yeah, y'all don't even know.
He's a finance guy. I'm not, okay? But $1,600 puts me right about in the ballpark. So what my tips are is, number 1, pick where you're going based on how much it costs to get there, essentially. And then drive if you can.
Basically, you can get anywhere in the U.S. from coast to coast, north or south, within 2 to 3 days, depending on. I'd say at least 2 days.
We're not driving nowhere for 2 to 3 days. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
2 days.
Because we're not taking maybe 2 days. if we are doing a drive and stop, stay overnight somewhere, and
But you
then
make a road trip out of it, make it an adventure. Because if you've got a large family, then chances are, I mean, you can fly. It depends on, what your budget looks like. If you want to fly, me personally, I wouldn't want to spend 16 by the time you add tax and all that stuff, up to $2
oh,
grand.
you worried about the $200 tax versus the $1,600 fee.
I don't want to pay up to $2 grand
Oh my
to
god!
fly. I value. I'm like, well, hey, I'll spend a little bit more time.
Marcus he's a driver, so he likes to drive.
It's a necessary evil for me.
It kind of is when you have a large family, if you think about it.
Yeah, because you I can drive and it's gonna cost me $200-$300 in fuel versus whatever it's gonna cost me in airplane tickets, or maybe you want to take a train or something like that.
Okay, so we basically have said driving is cheaper, which
Yeah,
you already know. But let us give
vans.
you some of our tips on how we drive. We don't usually just drive straight through.
Yes, we do.
That's a lie.
We
do drive straight through.
Because it's like you want to get there. Like when we went to Colorado, that was a perfect drive. Yes. We left at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. We always leave behind schedule.
Tip number 1, we drive at night because the got
kids.
Sleep. So
they
sleep. So essentially what we do is we leave when they just have a few hours, 1 or 2 hours where they're going to be awake. They get a little activity. We eat at home before we leave, so we ain't got to buy nothing to eat on the road. And we head out.
You feed them and you make them use the restroom and
all
then
that stuff, and we leave. We get about 1 or 2 hours, then they go to sleep.
Right.
And so most of our driving is done while they're asleep, so we don't have to hear, "Are we there yet? I'm hungry. I gotta pee." All of that stuff. Yeah. So that's why a lot of times you see us driving at night, because we don't have to do that. At night.
And y'all, I put my wife in her hands and trying to go to sleep while she's driving and can't see.
I don't like driving at night. Because it's hard to see. Are any of you like that where it's hard at night? Curve. You can't see when the curves are coming up. I promise you, I be like, when there's no street lights out and you're on those highways, I'm like, I can't see when the curves are coming up. That's why he does a lot of the driving. But when it is long distance like that, we do split it.
Like every 4 hours, basically every time we get gas, we swap. And we make the kids use the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. So we're not doing extra stopping. It's like when we stop for gas, it's time to pee, stretch your legs, get you something to eat or snack on if you want to. When you get back in the car, go back to sleep.
And here's another tip. We always stop at truck stops. Mm-hmm. Like anytime we're out, I find truck stops to stop at. Because they're generally going to have, any pilot, Flying J, whatever, they're going to have good, clean bathrooms and things like that. You'll be able to get snacks. It's in a safe area. So you don't have to worry about stopping in sketchy areas at nighttime. So we always stop at truck stops.
And they have a lot of apps on like your phone where you can find the nearest truck stop in your area or where the next truck stop is. So if you're driving along the way, you can kind of plot your way out.
Yeah, they have this app called Trucker's Path. You can just download it. And they got truck stops everywhere. And you can see every major, every minor truck stop. You can see the price of fuel and all that good stuff. So, yeah, we always do that.
So that is our driving tip. Another thing is that we bring things to eat generally while we are in the car so that we don't have to make additional stops. So we bring water, we bring snacks and stuff so that we don't have to stop. Now, I will say, Marcus brought it to my attention. He's like, why is it blinking?
It's 8 minutes.
Oh, okay.
8 minutes in.
He will say things like, do you think that by bringing food to eat on the road that you're saving money? For our family of 4, we find that we don't save money. If we ate cheaply in fast food,
some bologna sandwiches or something.
I so was not expecting that. I was like, what?
You gotta get that.
But if we stopped fast food and we ate cheaply, then we would not spend more money or considerably more money than it is to buy food and have it in the car.
But like if you got like 10
because we have
people,
a family of 4.
If you got 10 people,
Then yes, you can
You
do
wanna
like
get a
my
loaf of
mama did when
bread.
we were growing up. We made sandwiches. We had bags of chips that we had to put in Ziploc bags. I grew up taking road trips. We drove everywhere. Flying was never
yeah, your
an
dad don't
option.
like to
My
fly.
dad don't like to fly. So yes. Okay, so let me jump into flying. So we talked about driving. My tip for flying is if you have enough kids to where you can have a group, because most airlines, if you have at least 10 people flying, you can have a group. So call and find out about group booking. Then you can pay like a down payment. You can go
Right.
ahead and reserve your seats, and then you pay over time. So it allows you to pay over time, plus you get discounted fare. Other things is to learn to pack concisely. If you go with Spirit Airlines, don't expect something major and spectacular or even luxury, but learn how to pack and carry on suitcases. Some families pack things or they box things up and mail them
That's
to
a
where
great
they're
idea.
going.
Mail it to the hotel that you're going to be staying at.
Or the Airbnb that you're going to be staying in. So those are great tips. If you like these tips, give us a thumbs up, and we'll be back next week with another video that we're going to probably film today on how to travel with a large family and save money. Bye, guys.
Bye.